Okay, I'm on Head Start broadcasting. Monica's the only one here today. Monica, if you're the only one, by the time class is over, remind me to give you at least 5 points on the next test for being here. Uh, Clayton and Cole and Jonathan are usually here, and Savannah's never here. And of course, Hillary when she can make it. And there's Morgan. There's one more. I don't know if it's Turi or who. But anyway, folks, we are on chapter 5, and hopefully, Jonathan, you and Clayton can make it to taxes today. If you're not in cost, make it to taxes. Uh, I think a lot of the counties are closed today. What's that all about, Monique? Is that teacher strike? What are they striking over? Do you know?
Only charter schools or something like that.
Yeah, something about the schools. Uh, I guess they don't like some things that's in that legislator package. Okay. Come in, Jonathan.
Hope said he'll be a little late.
Cole will be here. Haven't seen Clayton, have you? All right.
Cole said he just fell back to sleep.
Gosh, Cole, I'll tell you, I'd like to be there with a bucket of ice water. But we'd have to. Okay, Jonathan, when can you take the test? We got to get it out of the way so I can give it all back to everybody
Yeah,
else.
I was wanting to take it today, but I don't remember a thing it's on. So can I take it tomorrow when I come from you?
Could you come in early tomorrow? Hopefully Savannah will come in early, and hopefully Hillary will come in early. Let's get it out of the way. We'll be doing midterm before you get to this one if you don't beat it up. We were just talking about the teacher striking, and Monique said something about chartered schools. I don't know what they're trying to do about a chartered school.
They're giving them one.
Now, I think there were some things in there that the teachers didn't like that they struck on before and they sneaked it back into another legislative package. So, oh well, West Virginia teachers are underpaid, same as Virginia teachers. Some counties in Virginia, they're doing well. Some they're not, just like West Virginia. Depends on the county. Teaching is probably a good occupation for women that are raising a family to get off in the summer. It wasn't that much money, so when I started teaching, I had to do something in the summer. So um, when I taught marketing in high school, I had a 12-month contract with the school system. So I worked. I had young kids, and I was a paint contractor one summer, and I don't know. I always worked every summer. Um, I think one summer I got to babysit my young daughter. Whoa,
Had to,
is that yours?
yeah, I had to set something so I remember to check in for
Yeah.
class.
All right, I think mine's him always. Didn't know. But anyhow, good teachers sometimes leave and they don't give them incentive to stay, so forth. And I don't know how a lot of the teachers are nowadays, but from what I hear, some teachers, elementary, they just don't care. And they're not teaching like what they should be. So I hope that's wrong information. Because they got a change to shape some young minds. Okay, we're on chapter 4. We were on job order. Chapter 5. Chapter 6 is going to be on process. Now, we looked at some things at the end of the chapter. We looked at some things at the end of the chapter that might influence us on forced job order. And right now, they've got a comprehensive demonstration in here. But now we were looking at what might be job order, I guess, and what might be process. We looked at that in exercise 9. And that's pretty much where we were closing out last week. Um, All right, I believe, did we look at exercise 14, some journal entries? Did we look at that one or not? All right. So we need to know journal entries, and they're about the same as you've learned before. Uh, and let's see, some of these documents, you can just read about those. And of course, ethics is mentioned again, and we know what ethics is by now. Uh, do we have is it a business law class or an ethics class? It's in your curriculum, isn't it?
Business law.
Huh?
So there's business law.
I just wonder how much ethics is in it. But anyway, we can't stop teaching ethics. Well, it sounds like some actor from Empire. Have either one of you ever watched Empire? I haven't, didn't know it existed. But some actor from Empire, he was a black guy and gay, and he staged, the way it looks like, two other black men with hoods on and wearing mega Trump hats. He staged it to look like they beat him up, and it was a hate crime that they were white men. They were Trump supporters. He did that, and they found out that it was a hoax. He got a lot of publicity out of it, but it made probably the Democrats look bad more than it made Republicans look bad in the end. So, but that's unethical for anybody to stage something like that. Some of our politicians are unethical, even with the things they say. Well, Cole, you made it just in time and got an extra wink to boot. So, what time do you go to bed, Cole?
3 a.m. maybe?
3?
Yeah.
And you get up at what time?
10. Well, I try to get up at 10.
Well, heck, that's still 7 good hours. 7 good hours. But I hope you're staying up to 3, busting your butt studying, but I'm not going to ask you what you were doing. I've got a grandson, a senior in high school. I know why he stays up late. All right, so this chapter is job order, and we looked at some journal entries, and we looked at what might be adapted to that. But now we need to look at some cost accumulation. So I'm going to go straight to exercise 16. All right, did I do any of these problems for assignments? Did I give you 17 for assignment? What I give you for homework, Nicole?
15, 16, 17.
Yeah, I've got 20 marked, 16 marked, 17 marked. I guess I have 15 marked. All right, let's look at these exercises in accumulating cost, work in process, debit, 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 and cost of good completed jobs. The company applies overhead on the basis of direct labor cost. Only one job was still in process May the 31st. That job had 37,725 in direct materials and 18,100 in direct labor. All right. Now we've got materials, labor, and applied overhead. Let's see what our instructions might be. What was the predetermined overhead rate? Now, Monica, did you figure that out? What have you got there?
140.
All right, let's move on down. Let me see these entries. Number 14, we looked at real quick last week, or we skipped or whatever. It's raw materials inventory. You may have to debit work in process twice because we had more than one job. And how much did you get, Monique?
140.
All right, all Monica did was take 134,000, which was direct. Let's see, direct labor was 96,000, and she divided that into 134,000, which was applied overhead, and that gave you 140%. So if you were working this the other way, you'd take 96,000 times 1.4 to get your applied overhead. Now, B part of that one, what was the balance in work in process inventory at the end of May? Anybody have that one? All right, let's go ahead and look at it. It says that job had, let's see, it said that job had material. I think that my page is flipped today. It said the job had materials, which here we have it given. It says that job has labor, which here we have it given. Now, multiply this labor. I'm not even be able to make any kind of a mark today. Multiply that times 140%. The job we have left is 81,165. Now, C part of problem 15, what was the total cost of jobs completed? That should be everything else. They've got up here 138 plus 96 plus 134 minus 81. So just add up all of your debits and subtract what you had left, and you got 287,835. So not a hard little exercise, okay? Now, Cole, you took the test on time, didn't you? Okay. We're trying to get people to make that up by Wednesday tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to set a date tomorrow. If you don't take it by tomorrow, I'm gonna give you that test back Thursday anyway. If somebody hadn't taken it, I'm just gonna have to make them up probably 100 multiple choice or something. Let the computer print it off. So please take that test tomorrow, folks. Hillary, Savannah, Jonathan, and Morgan, I think she may be dropping. She's in Princeton, and she found that both of them together was pretty tough, which I don't blame her. Number 16. The following costs were incurred in February. Direct materials purchased on account, direct materials used, direct labor, actual factory overhead. Now the balance in the work in process inventory was 16.8, which consisted of 11.2 for job 217, 56 for job 218. The February beginning balance of materials inventory was 44.6. Actual overheads applied to jobs at a rate of $4.95 an hour for direct labor per dollar of direct labor cost. Seems like a lot. Job 217 was completed and transferred. Job 217 was delivered to customers and sold, I guess. The journal entry to record all that information. All right. Got to start somewhere. How much direct materials did we purchase? 76,000. Well, that should be an easy entry. What will we debit, Jonathan, when we buy direct material? Let's debit what? Right, credit accounts payable. All right. And we're okay. That's what they want. Journal entry for everything you can make anything out of. Now we're going to issue this to the factory. Materials used, 44.8 and 72, and the other jobs, 53. That's 108. So basically, when we put materials into the factory, what do we debit? We put materials in the factory, we debit. Monique, anybody?
Okay, problem.
Right. All right, so we're putting materials in the factory. Work in process. Job 17, job 18, other jobs, credit materials. So we're just doing all the entries, following up till we sell something. So again, journal entries for job order cost account. The direct labor cost, job 17, 18, other. All right. When the factory uses labor, what do we debit? Work in process. All right. So now we've used labor. Work in process, job 17, work in process, job 18, other jobs, and cash or wages payable. Now it says we had 220,000 of real actual factory overhead. When we have actual factory overhead, what do we debit? When we have actual factory overhead, we debit factory overhead. And we credit something. So here's what we credit: various stuff. We might credit accounts payable, rent payable, taxes payable, indirect wages, labor, wages payable, indirect materials used. So we could have including the accumulated depreciation. So we could have a lot of credits here. All right, now we've got the three ingredients: materials, labor, and overhead. Three ingredients. The next thing we probably have to do is apply factory overhead. Actual overhead is applied to jobs at a rate of $4.95 per dollar hour direct labor cost. That was actual. Was that applied? Actual overhead is applied to jobs at a rate of $4.95 an hour. Don't sound right. All right. Now, this is applied overhead, no matter how you look at it. It should have said applied overhead. Sort of confused me. All right. Now let's take job 217 up here. Here's labor. 10,400. Does anybody know how they got this? 51 at 480. All right, 44,000. Let's see. Where's the $44,000 come from times 495? Somebody multiply 44,000 times 495. Tell me what you get. 44,000 times 495. What do you get?
217,800.
All right. Now, 217.8. So that is your applied overhead when you do that. Now, where'd the 44,000 come from?
That's from entry of
Which one?
from the entry of like two to the cash or wages payable, which is 40.
Yeah, that's wages. For job 17, 18. Now, if we multiply that 44,000 times 495, which they give us, we get, all right, we get factory overhead. Now, before we just debit work in process for 217.8. So now I'm asking you, how do we separate this for the three jobs? So how do I get 51,480?
By 10 4 times 4.5.
Then 4 times
4.5.
14 times 495, 1960 times 495, 44,000 times 495. And we get all of our work in process and credit our overhead. Now, how do we know what to ship to finished goods? How do we know what to ship to finished goods? All right, you got to add up the jobs that are completed. Which job was completed? Just job 217. All right, we put materials of 44.8, and we put labor of 10.4, and we put overhead of 51,480. So add it up. Add it up. But now there's 4 items there. But you have 11.2 in beginning. Look, where's the 11.2 come from? Was that beginning work in process for job 217? Has to be. Yeah. So that's beginning. Here's what we added. Beginning, materials, labor, overhead. We ship it to finished goods and we credit work in process. It's those journal entries over and over again. And then we sell it. If we know what we sell it for, we'll make 2 entries here. 1 will debit cash, 2 will credit sales. 3 will debit cost of goods sold, and we'll credit finished goods inventory to get rid of it. Okay, whether it's general cost accounting, whether it's work in process cost accounting, whether it's job order cost accounting, these same entries apply. Now here you may have work in process job 1, work in process job 2. And the process cost accounting chapter, you'll have department 1, work in process department 1, work in process department 2. Only different. Now I also gave you 17. And just ask questions. So let's see what the questions are. Blaine makes floats for Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The company's fiscal year ends on March 31st, blah, blah. The company's work in process account prepared as follows. All right, you have beginning work in process, you have materials, labor, and overhead. The direct labor cost contained in the beginning work in process was for a total of 15,200 direct labor hours. During January, 7,600 direct labor hours were recorded. Only 1 job was still in process on January. That job had 73,250 in direct materials and 2,850 in direct labor. All right. See if you can do A, and Jonathan, see if you can do B. And Monica, do you have C? Okay, so take a minute, guys, and just read over A and B real well. And Monique can take a breather. All right. If overhead is applied on the base of direct labor hours, what predetermined overhead rate was in effect? Have any idea, Cole? All right. All right, let's go down then. Sometimes you have to take a while to figure these things out. All right. 7,600 hours is what we worked this month, right? Now, where's the 127,680 come from? Is that what we put in as labor?
That's overhead.
That was the overhead?
Yeah.
So if that was the overhead, we worked 7,600 hours and it was applied on direct labor. 1,680 per direct labor hour is overhead. So overhead is 1,680 per hour. That's a lot, but depending on the company it is. All right. What was the average direct labor rate? Okay. If we had 159.6 in direct labor and 7,600 hours, then we pay $21 an hour. It's just reverse arithmetic. All right, so we have found out how much overhead is per hour, how much labor is per hour, what amount of direct materials cost was in beginning balance. How about that one, Monique? C part.
342,090.
All right. What amount of direct materials was in the beginning balance? All right, beginning balance is 916,650. Now, do you know how to break that 19,650 up? It's got materials, labor, and work in process in it. I mean, it's got materials, labor, and overhead in it. Now, but how about that beginning inventory? How many hours was in it? 15 what? Huh?
15,000.
All right, here's the deal is. Take that 15,200, multiply it by 1,680, and then multiply it by 21. Now, if you're just doing some arithmetic here, take the 21, Jonathan, add 3650 to it. What do you get? 30 what? I mean, add 1,680 to 21. I'd be 3780. Now take that 3780, labor and overhead, and multiply it by 15,200 hours. All right, now take that number and subtract it from 916,650. All right. Let's see if we were on the right track. I believe we were. $342,009. You see, every inventory has materials, labor, and overhead in it. We know how much overhead is per hour. We know how much labor is per hour. Anything else is materials. 342.90. Okay, next question. What was the balance of work in process inventory at the end of January? All right, I'm just going to show you that real fast. If workers on the job Indian working process, some be paid the average, the direct labor rate, then the Indian working process is. Direct material, 73,250. Direct labor, 21 times 28. Did they give you the 2,850 hours? Okay, then just multiply that by labor and overhead. But now, how'd you get to 73,250?
Oh, yeah, it said that the job had, it gave it.
They gave it to you. Okay, so if they gave you materials, find labor and overhead and add, and you got it. Okay, and the last part, what was the total cost of jobs completed or manufactured? Well, it looks like you take the 916,000 plus all your debits minus what you got in D part in the working process, and you'd have 1,612,620. Okay, now, folks, you can figure out those little exercises. You can. Little practice will help. Now, you had that one for homework, and Monique, I've got number 20, the next one. Is that correct? Now, number 19 is good if you have time to do it. But let's look at number 20. Now we're making in case one, case two, and case three, and case four. We've got materials and labor and overhead, hours for case one, case two, three, and four. Now, the law firm of this company currently has 4 cases in process. Following is information related to those cases as of January. Okay. Now, have any of you ever had to use an attorney for anything? Well, I just got through with a court case, and it was justice did not get served. Dad's land, my brother lived near it, and he sold his timber like on one side of the creek, the holler, whatever you want to call it. The timber man, his dozer tracks were clear across the holler. He went in and destroyed about 15 acres of family property and took out a lot of timber. And I took pictures of the destruction. They cut down little trees and left them, and they didn't clean it up or reclaim it. And they were over there illegal. And we had evidence. My other brother heard, one brother was dying at the time. He was selling the fellow timber on his side. But anyway, I had pictures of the destruction, the dozer tracks crossing the holler. There was no other way in there except over this fellow that was timbering his property. And we had all the evidence. We had a 7-person jury. Just those other two, the logger and his son, they were smooth liars. Really smooth. And told sad stories or whatever. I mean, we had logging tickets. We didn't sold the logs. I didn't know what else, other proof we needed. And there was other witnesses, but we wanted to subpoena and brought them in. We didn't think we needed. But the jury come back and said, you know, the defendant, I guess, yeah, they would be the defendants. They were found innocent of trespassing, innocent of cutting down timber, innocent of destroying property. And I had pictures of all of it. We had proof that they were only one, but they lied so good that it was over with. Luckily, my lawyer was doing it on a percentage basis. He got nothing. Had 2 lawyers on it. Neither one got nothing. But the only justification is the fellow we took to court probably had to pay out 2 or 3 times lawyer fees than what he got out of the timber. So that's the only justification. And he went through lawyers. One would not fool with him, dropped him, went to start over again. He got another lawyer. That lawyer died, went to start over again. He got another lawyer, so he's had to pay a lot in lawyer fees. But justice was not served. Okay? And that does happen in our court system. So here we got some lawyers with cases. All right? Now, determine the total cost assigned to each case. Now, we got materials. Now, what kind of materials, folks, would you have for a law case? Paper?
Yeah.
What? All right, it doesn't matter. I don't see how any case could have $8,800 worth of materials, what have you. And then you've got labor, I can understand that. And then you've got court hours. Now, $190 an hour. You're lucky if you could get somebody that cheap. Some of them cost up to $300 an hour. And they charge more if they go to court. Well, we kept that guy's lawyer there in court all day that day, from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So he's had to pay 10 hours. And he had the best law firm in Grundy. I'm sure he was paying $300 or $400 an hour. Well, that day cost him $3,000 probably. All right. Now, this question, determine the total cost assigned to each case. Now, how is the estimated court hours charged? We got direct labor $190 per hour. The law firm currently has 4 cases falling as information related to them. Determine the total cost assigned to each case. Monique, do you have case 1? What did you got, dear? Yeah, just the total.
1,880.
All right. This is number 20, isn't it? All right. Now look at these folks. See how Monique got 9,888. I mean, 880. Now, direct materials was provided, right? 480. And what else was provided? 40 hours times at $90 an hour. 190 an hour. Somebody take 40 times 190. See what that gives us. 40 times 190.
$7,600.
All right. But now I missed this. Where'd the $150 come from?
Right here, it says, predetermined rate of $150 per estimated court hour.
1,800. Now I just wonder if that was extra, because usually they charge you more to go to court with you than they do overall. I just wonder if you were paying $340 when they were in court. All right, best advice, don't ever need a lawyer. All right? Now, I have seen lawyers in a divorce case, my brother's divorce case. They fought one another like crazy. And when the divorce was settled, the 2 lawyers went out and had lunch together. So they do that. And they keep you coming back. It's more money. They keep wanting to do something else. It's more money. So anyhow, okay, very simple, multiplying wages. But now the best thing this little exercise illustrates, you can use, a job is a job. It don't have to be making a computer or a car. It don't have to be making a tailor-made suit or a yacht or an airplane. A job. It don't have to be a mile of highway paving or building a house, which is a job. It can be ER in a hospital. It can be an operating room in a hospital. It can be a lawyer. It can be an auditor in accounting. B part. Case 3 was completed at the end of 13. At that time, 10.1 of direct materials had been used and 174 direct labor hours had been incurred. Of the direct labor hours, 72 had been spent in court. Maybe they are separating those. They charge clients actual cost plus 45%. What amount will be billed to the client involved in case 3? We're going to charge clients actually cost plus 45%. All right. Okay, direct materials, I have no idea what a lawyer would spend in direct materials, okay? Paper and pencils, computers and all that don't add up to that much. All right, but direct labor hours, we can multiply that times 190. Now, did we take the whole 174? 174 direct labor hours had been incurred. Of the direct labor hours, 72 had been. This is in addition to, isn't it? Yeah, that is in addition to. Okay, so we are charging 150 more when we go to court. So that's total cost. Now they're going to mark that up 45%. We're paying for their materials. We're paying for their labor at 190 an hour plus maybe 240 an hour, 340. And they're going to mark it up 45%. Like I say, try to not need a lawyer unless you take it on a no-pay basis. If you're in a car wreck, get a lawyer for free. Okay? If you're any kind of personal injury, get a lawyer for free. Do it on a percentage base. And then you don't have to worry about how many hours they work on it. Okay? But this guy that we got, a lawyer, I got a different lawyer. He retired. He turned over this younger guy. He drove a lot of miles from where his firm was to Grundy. He did a lot of work. Actually, the work he did on the case for that property that he lost for us, he could have done some things at the end, maybe have won it. But he would have earned probably $60,000 in fees. But he got zero. So he didn't win. He got another lawyer to help him. He got zero because he didn't win. So lawyers can lose. But I would hate to have hearted him, pay him out $60,000 and got nothing. Was that the last homework problem? All right. Now what we've been doing is cost accumulation, folks. And I want you all to do number 22 as we speak. See if you can do job number 22. Take a few minutes, work together. If you got somebody sitting beside you, if you wish to just go and John. You folks at home, Savannah, whoever, Hillary, Clayton, be working this problem as we do. You probably don't see what it's about. Hillary let me know she took the test last week after taxes. She did. So, Judge Jonathan and Savannah need to take that test. Okay, let's look at this exercise. Number 22, anyway, this company, an interior decorating, that would be a job. All right, they give you all the data. What was the total cost of job 920 at the end of June 18. Anybody get an answer? How much? 3650. Did you get an answer on it? Cole, did you get the same thing John did? All right. John, I don't know where you got that figure from, but let's see. All right, it looks like now the material, was that spelled out for you? All right, that's spelled out for you. Now, was it spelled out that you had
800 direct labor.
you had 800 direct labor? So put that down. But now, if you are charging $20 an hour, you want to figure out how many hours you work. Now, did they give you the $17 applied overhead rate? Did they give you the 17? Well, then all you had to do then take 17 times 40. So the only trick here, materials, labor, and overhead was pretty much materials and labor was given to you. But you had to find the 40 hours times 17 to get overhead. So that gave you a total cost of $43.30. So once again, these little cost out. They're there. You just have to look for the answers. What was the cost of goods manufactured? All right. Then we would have to look at now the 82. What was the 82? 250. Materials, labor, and then overhead, I guess. So if we take materials, labor, and overhead, it's 91.75. All right. That's in the beginning. Then you added materials, labor at $20 an hour, of course, and overhead at 17 an hour. So that gave you 42,480. After you added 91 beginning, we've done this before. Beginning plus materials, labor, and overhead gives you manufacturing cost. We did that in a manufacturing statement, which is 42,480. And then we take out any work in process, and we've got cost of goods sold. We've done that before on a manufacturing statement. Now, to finish answer this one, if actual factory overhead was 5054 and applied overhead was 5355, all right, now right here is your applied overhead, 5355. There's your applied overhead, 5355. And we take the applied from the actual. We've got over applied 301. And we dealt with that also in the last chapter. So I'm going to give you some assignments on this chapter. We will finish it up. When you get a chance, read the next chapter, which is chapter 6. But we got some work to do on this chapter, and we'll finish it up. I want you to do just what we've been doing. I want you to do 24. I don't want you to do some of this writing and ethics that they're talking about. I want you to do 27. That's rework. We'll have to look at that. All right, I'm not going to worry about standard. Now on problems, I want you to do 36. I want you to do 38. Now that's it. Now that's a lot. That's repeating a lot of what we did today. Now, if you want a bonus on the next test, I would ask you to do problem 45. You got plenty of time to do it in. Problem 45 will be a bonus on your next test. At least 5 points, maybe more. All right, folks, with that, I think class is over today. I'm gonna stop broadcasting.